Okay, Johnny Houston,
Here.
Ed Stanek,
Here,
Savon Gibson.
Here.
And I'm sorry, am I mispronouncing your first name? I wasn't sure exactly how to pronounce it.
Savon.
Savon. Okay, I'm glad you told me. Melanie Veal, and she had already advised that she would not be attending most likely. And of course, as I mentioned, Lori Wright Smith passed away, so she will not be at the meeting.
and Miss Kitchen left us. She's no longer on the commission.
No, she passed away from the COVID in February.
No,
Miss-
no, no. No,
Oh,
he asked about kitchen.
I misunderstood. I thought you said someone's father.
No, it was no. It was actually her because she couldn't attend the last meeting because she was sick.
Oh,
No, Joanne,
No.
he asked about Dorothy Kitchen. Dorothy
Oh.
didn't choose to be when her term
Reappointed.
expired. She didn't choose to continue.
That's
That's
what,
why Savon came on.
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you need a motion to excuse Melanie.
Oh, no, they don't. They don't normally do that. I'll just put that she was excused.
We
Oh,
did
okay.
that on the EDC commission.
All right.
Okay. So we really just have 3, 4. We have 4 members. Okay. All right. Thanks.
Okay. Help me out here. I've got Johnny, Ed, and Savon. That's 3 of us.
Yes,
And Melanie Veal,
is not here though.
right.
Okay. Oh, Jesus. Okay. At this particular time, we have the minutes. And the question is, do we have any corrections to the minutes?
Okay. Yeah.
I did not find any.
You didn't find any? Okay. I didn't see any either. I didn't see any either when I went through them. Okay. Well, since I didn't see any, you didn't see any, Ed, then maybe we have a motion to accept them as printed.
I'll move that we accept the minutes as printed.
May we have a second, Savon?
All right. I second.
Thank you, dear. It's been properly moved and second that we accept the minutes as printed.
May I interrupt for a minute, Johnny?
Yes, you may.
Just so Savon knows, he may be familiar with Robert's rules and he probably attends lots of meetings. But since there are only 3 of us here and the chair cannot move or second the minutes, we'll need Savon to second all my motions or make a motion on his own. Okay,
Sounds good.
Thank you for clarifying it for him. Thank you.
that's better.
Okay. All right. That's good. And that's true. All right. Then we do not have comments from the public. We have no public, right?
Not that I'm aware of.
All right. Then we'll have the reports from our commission members. Report.
I have no report.
Okay. Savon.
No, ma'am, I have no report.
Okay, I have no report either. But I do, what was my question? Yeah. What are they doing over there where McDonald's used to be on Northland? What's going on over there?
The McDonald's was a corporate decision to tear that down. Apparently, the property where the Chase Bank was either sold or leased, and they took it down and are putting up a dollar store.
Dollar General, I think.
I'm not sure which one it is, but it's a dollar store of some type.
Right.
Oh, well, and then what are they doing to the back of it? What's going on back there?
Well,
Where,
that whole shopping center was bought over a year ago by Steel Summit, and they moved their
No, Magna
offices,
Machine.
or Magna. I'm sorry, Magna.
Yeah.
They moved their offices across the street to the portion of that mall that faced Southland. And the back part of it, where the old Central Hardware was and all of that back in there,
Mhm.
is warehousing and production because they've expanded so much.
Mm.
And then the other L that used to come from the part that faced Wake Northland, that used to come out towards Northland, that was all torn down. And I think
Right.
there's maybe an acre or two back there that actually is now in the hands of the city that's probably just going to be green space.
Correct.
Mm. Mm, that's interesting. And one other question: Promenade. I saw a sign saying it's sold. And
It is.
what's going to
There
happen?
is there were multiple things going on there. The property that actually housed the old Fit Works was separately owned by Nair. And the rest of Promenade was owned by another company that was in the process of wanting to sell it. The city was looking at it if the price was right, but as it turned out, another developer came in and bid market price for it. It's called Woodcrest. And their plan is to actually work with the city and Nair to redevelop that whole area.
When you say redevelop, what do they have in mind?
We have no idea. I think they still want to do some type of mall. So, I mean, to us, malls are kind of dying things. And
Mhm.
we've been looking at these as more mixed use. I don't know whether they have mixed use in mind or if they are more in line with mall redevelopment. But what we understand is part of this may involve moving existing tenants down to consolidate them in one area and working on the other area. But this is all in the very early stages. I don't know, Andy, if you know any more.
Yeah, I mean, you've pretty much covered it. I mean, they're planning on keeping it mostly retail.
Yeah.
There is some office space above it. Now we are working with them. We want facade improvements at the very least. But there's also a grant that we may be looking into. So there's a few things that, yeah, it's very early. We don't really know what's exactly going to happen, but they do want to fill it as much as possible.
Right.
I have a question. Do we have any co-working space in Forest Park?
So that's part of the grant we're looking at would involve that. So it's either a minority business incubator or they're calling it a kind of like a co-working space as well. There's office space on the second floor of there. So we've talked about possibly using that.
And there
Okay.
part of that may go into the FitWorks building too.
Right. So
I mean,
there's
there are all kinds of options that are open right now.
yeah, it's just so early in the process. We really just
Right.
we don't know where we're gonna land at this
Right.
point.
Right.
Oh,
Are you finished with your questions?
I think nobody, I'm going to say this and we can move on. Nobody has invited me to come to see the school when they're going to open it, but they want my money. That's all I know. And I don't like that.
Well, they're actually open now. They came back from spring break like March 28th, 29th. So they're fully operational over there at the high school.
So the
Yeah, and
kids are,
Johnny, it was open for ribbon cutting. And then they also told us at that time that before they tore the old building down, there was going to be an opportunity for people to tour that. But I think that those have been in the past. So I don't know whether they're still doing that with the old building or not, but the kids are in the new building.
the South Building is having an open house on the 27th and 28th from 4 to 6.
Okay.
the what building?
The South, that's the kindergarten to 6th grade.
And where is that?
That's the building that's off of, I think it's off of Farga. It's down there where the middle school is at.
Okay. All right. Well, I know we got the pandemic, but I'm just used to them making a big to-do over stuff, and I didn't see that. So they just want our money. All right.
Well,
All right.
I mean,
since
I could,
since you brought it up, Johnny, it's on the ballot on May 4th for the tax.
Oh, I supposed to vote it down, right?
That's the operating
I'm not
levy.
telling anybody what to do. All I know is I'm very disappointed in Mr. Smith. He told me 4 or 5 years ago when they passed the first tax that if they get the tax, he would have a passing school system. The school system is still failing the same as it was 4 years ago.
Well, I'm just gonna say that that's my career, and I believe in education and whatever you need. But I believe that the city it's like, I'll just take your money. It's not the city, it's the school district, and I will not make it. Let us know what's going on. If you can send us out information to get a levy, you should surely want people who might want to just see what the inside of the school looks like. But we weren't given that opportunity. So since I wasn't given that opportunity, I don't want to hear anything else they got to say. I can move this in. I don't want to hear nothing, because that's a form of taking my money. All right. I understand where you're coming from here. Let's move. Anybody else got anything else to say? And thank y'all for answering all my questions. I've been wondering what's going on. Okay. Anybody else got anything else to say before I move on?
Nope.
All right. Thanks. Okay. And Ed, you're forgiven. I meant to send you a bill for your shot. Okay. Let's move on. Um, then school, we've already covered that. Anybody got anything else to say about the schools? Human resource director.
I assume, well, Herbie, you didn't have anything else to say, did you, Diana?
No, there are some routine things going on financially. Our bonds are coming due right now, which is traditional at this time. And we've got the finance department reviews a different policy every year, and they've got some minor changes to the debt policy that they've reviewed this year. But there there just isn't really a lot going on right now because of COVID.
Yeah.
Well, that's a blessing. That's a blessing. Okay. And I do want to say, this got nothing to do with nothing, but I want to say it while I'm thinking about it, because I'm 16 years old. I'm just on a serious note. I am thankful that we're not in the news with our police officers. And I've been out here since 1974. And I'm just thankful. That's all I have to say.
Oh,
Um,
by the way, there is one thing that I do wanted to say, and congratulate the police department. They just received their CALIA certification, which is probably the highest level of certification that you can receive in the nation. And as I wrote them, I know that this just confirms what we know about our police department and how good it is.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Bill, and congratulations to the whole department.
And Bill, if you can speak on that divert thing, maybe, I don't know if they're all aware of that as well.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. Well, thank you, Diana. CALIA is actually an international accreditation process. It's voluntary that police departments do. Very few agencies actually go through that arduous task, because it was a 3-year process to get it, and it's ongoing. We have to show compliance yearly, so we're pretty proud of what we did, and I'm proud of all of our employees that got us that. What Andy was speaking to is a program that we're doing with Women Helping Women, and it's called Divert, and it's a domestic violence intervention program. So if our officers get dispatched to a domestic violence call and we can determine that violence has occurred, then we will call for a divert advocate, and an advocate will respond to the scene within 10 minutes. And that advocate then works with the domestic violence survivor to provide them whatever kind of resources they may need, and actually stay with that survivor throughout the entire criminal justice process, as long as the survivor is, wanting helping women's assistance. So this has been going on in the city of Cincinnati for about the last year and a half to 2 years, and they're expanding out into the county, into the suburban agencies. So it's going to be Forest Park, Coleraine Township, Green Township, Springfield Township, Springdale. A lot of the agencies that are, kind of in what we call the funnel of northern Hamilton County going down into the city. So pretty exciting for us.
Now I think I'm on to me, Johnny.
Uh,
I
okay.
think
Okay.
yes.
I'm ready. Go on.
So basically almost all of our employees are back now in the office. And then with the municipality is still technically closed. We've had a lot of renovations going on to help with a future pandemic or whatever. We have more spatial distancing and everything like that. So our goal right now is we'll probably open to the public after Memorial Day, which I think is June 1st. So just to keep that in mind. The tax office is still open, though it's in the senior center. And the tax deadline's been moved to May 17th. I think everybody's aware, but just in case. Let's see what else I got. And then other than that, like the events are still in limbo, like the Jazz Fest, we don't know about. If we do one, it may be a lot smaller version of it. So we're kind of in limbo. We're waiting to see what happens with the, allowed in a confined area and whatnot. So, and then we've talked about having possibly a 60th anniversary something, or maybe we incorporate that with Jazz Fest. We don't know yet, but those are in the early stages as well.
Is that 60th anniversary 25 in 2025?
No, it's this year. We incorporated like July 5th, 1961.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So other than that, the HR activities, I think Joanne's going to summarize. So is that right, Joanne? Okay. So other than that, that's all I got.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, I had to mute my thing. This is gonna be kind of long, but it'll be in the minutes. And if anyone wants a copy of this, I can email it to you tomorrow. First of all, we hired Kara Bateri, an office associate 2 for community development, to replace a girl named Connie Westendorf, who's planning to retire before the end of the year. And then because I haven't done this previously, I wanted to make sure, because of the COVID and all that, I got this in here. It would be the results of our November 7th, 2020 maintenance worker practical skills and knowledge test and the applicants. We had 24 apply. 8 were not qualified to test as they didn't have the required CDL driver's license. 10 appeared and passed the test, and 6 did not appear. On November 17, 2020, the 10 people that passed the practical skills and knowledge test interviewed for the position. And right now, Andy will provide more on this later after I finish this report. For our engineering technician position, we had 5 apply. 1 was not qualified due to not meeting the experience and education requirements, and 2 applicants took the assessment that you all had passed at the last meeting and had an interview on April the 8th. And they're currently in discussion about maybe either bringing the people back for another interview and or starting their pre-employment testing. For the police officer written test, The position closed out with the National Testing Network, known as NTN, on April the 9th. We had 81 apply. We had 45 people that passed the written test and were placed on eligibility lists. However, 2 people were removed as they advised us they were no longer interested in the position because I guess they got a position maybe elsewhere. Because all this process takes a long time to go through. We had 31 that failed, and we had 5 that applied but did not complete the NTN test. So essentially, they were failures too, incomplete. Also, NTN does ask them for their race and gender, and I can give you that also. Although there's a couple of people that it was they undisclosed it, but basically the gender and race breakdown of the people that passed the NTN written test and are now on the eligibility list is as follows. We had 1 male that would not disclose his gender. We had 29 male white, 4 male African American, 1 male Hispanic, 5 female whites, and 5 female African Americans. So we did have, they were represented in the people that passed the test. And then I also calculated yesterday the ones that of all the people that applied of their gender and race, and we had 2 males that would not disclose their race. We had 5 male, or excuse me, we had 44 male white that applied, 11 male African Americans that applied, 11 white females that applied. We had 6 female African Americans, and we had 1 female Hispanic that applied. Also had 1 female Asian that applied, 2 male Hispanics that applied, and 1 male Asian that applied. The interviews for 3 positions will be held with the top 30 certified candidates from the eligibility list next Tuesday, April 20th, and Wednesday, April 21st. And then following the first interviews, 6 candidates will be chosen to receive a second interview and take the police officer agility test on Tuesday, April 27th. And that would be the end of my report. So would you all like me to email this to you tomorrow? I can if you'd like to review it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, I'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah, I would
And
like,
like I said, that's the end of my report.
I would like a copy as well, Joanne, and I have a question. Help me better understand this, because it sounds to me, and maybe we discussed this and I just forget the reasoning for it, but I thought we always gave the physical application of the test first because it didn't cost us anything like the written tests do.
Yeah, so Ed, what happened was last time we did that, we lost half our pool. We had 80 people apply last time that qualified for the test, and only 36 showed up for the agility. So we don't want to, because people have other commitments, or we actually found out, I think at one point, another agency was doing the same day. So we run into issues like that. So what we decided was to wait until the second interview to give the agility to the ones that qualify based on the interviews. That way we wouldn't lose any candidates that way.
Okay,
No, that's what you guys approved at the last meeting too, of giving the agility as part of the interview process.
Okay.
And,
And if for any reason
isn't,
they don't pass, then they come off the list.
isn't this NTN test a test not done by us, but done by an outside agency? I guess we pay a stipend to participate in that,
Yeah, so they're
but we're
a
not, yeah.
yeah,
And
they're
that's what's widened our pool.
yes, it's a national, it's where police nowadays, it's pretty much where police officers go to look for jobs, because that's, if you go to their website, there's a ton of agencies in Ohio that are on this site. So, and it makes it easy for them because they can just apply once and check all the agencies they want to apply to at the same time. And then they pay, I think they pay initially like 50 or $100. I can't remember what it is, 50 something dollars, I think. And then they take the test, and they were actually able to proctor it at home this time. So most of them were able to take it at their house, and that didn't have to go somewhere.
Hmm.
And then it was also, we changed the scoring a little bit to a diversity, they call it a diversity something option. I can't remember, but it was supposed to help find more diversity as well. So I actually think that did well. I mean, I was actually pretty impressed with our candidate pool this time. So I think we got some good candidates. We're interviewing all 30 of them, assuming they signed up. I think we have like 23 signed up right now. We're trying to call the remaining stragglers, but so hopefully we'll interview all 30.
And of those being interviewed, how many minority do we have? African American and female? 9?
15.
Oh, 15.
Yeah.
But
Well,
we also have some Asians too, don't we?
Well, we have 1 Hispanic, 4 male Black, and then 5 female. I'm sorry, not 15. I might say that wrong. I'm sorry. So we have
Well,
10
if you're counting the 5
that's
white
women.
females,
Yes, that's
would
right.
be also
Yes.
minority too.
Yeah, that's so minority total is 15 if
Yeah.
you include white females.
Yeah.
So half of them are technically a minority of some sort.
Well, that's the largest percentage of minority we had for any applications in a police department to mine
Right,
ever.
right. So yeah, I
It's
think
been a
we're,
long time since we've had that many, I think.
Well, we just want to make sure that they know what a taser is and what a gun is.
yes.
That's all. That's all I just want. We've never had any problems, and we prefer not to get in. This is a taser and this is a gun. All right. Y'all got it? All right. All right.
Bill, did you want to comment on that or?
No, I
Well,
think,
not that part. I was just going to say, you know, my assistant chief, Rick Jones, he worked really hard doing some recruiting, and we had a recruiting team that went to some historically Black universities to try to do some recruiting. So we really were trying to reach a diversified audience this time. And actually that is also required through our accreditation process. Now, we had a recruitment plan that we put together, and we were looking, our goal was a 10% increase in minority applicants. And we actually, I think, blew that out of the water this time around. So I'm pretty pleased with that and proud.
Well, can I ask, in your recruitment, you said you guys went to some HBCUs. What does that look like? Do you guys do a presentation or?
Yeah, unfortunately, they were all virtual this time. So we did, and if Captain Jones was here, he could speak to it. He's the one that did it, but we actually sent 2 officers to Central State, and they basically kind of walked around and introduced themselves to people and passed out flyers. And but the job fair was actually virtual, and people had to sign up for it. And then we just had one person that did what they call like a handshake or something. I'm not exactly sure what the terminology was. So we did get one applicant from Central State.
Gotcha. And I'm asking because and this is just something to ponder. Maybe including someone from the community. Like, say if I went with them next time when we could visit in public, that would give the people that we're recruiting a visual from the community standpoint, and not just the actual police department.
Good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah,
That's a
absolutely.
good idea.
Appreciate the suggestion.
No problem.
That's a good idea. All right.
I guess that was on the police. On
I had,
maintenance work.
I had
I'm
a
sorry.
question on the police, Andy. I called you and asked if we still had time for this person to apply, and you told me yes. It was a female applicant who had gone through Butler Tech and went to the NTO, and it was a female, and I talked to her last Friday. She signed on with Middletown, so she didn't even apply because we lost 50% of our female force. And I thought it would be good to get another female back on the force.
Yep, we're hopeful. So yeah, the other,
Okay.
moving on to the maintenance worker, just to give what's going on there. We did interview all 10. We actually pretty much made an offer to 3 of them, and 2 of them turned it down. 1 of them didn't pass a background check. So, and we're kind of at the end of, like, so the rest of them weren't high on our list. I mean, I don't know how else to say it, like, but so we're kind of in a position of flux right now with that, and that's kind of what's going on with the agenda. You'll see. Actually, it's not on the agenda, but that's
No, sir, you have to add it. They're
Yeah,
going to add them.
yeah. So we got 2 things we're gonna add. Part of I think our issue was we did change it to require a CDL, and that really limited our pool. So I think we're gonna remove. We'd like to request for you guys to approve to remove that and go back to the way it was. The city, it'll be an expense to the city, but it's a business expense at this point. Because historically we would at least get 25 or 30 applicants. I mean, to only really have 10 this time, it really limited our pool.
Okay.
So that's what we're asking there, and then we're making a few updates to the practical tests.
If we do that, will we end up with these perennial test takers who always come out of the woodwork,
That's
but
right.
they never want the job?
Well, no, this isn't we're still not going to do a written test. So the next part of
Oh,
this,
okay.
we're going to do the practical, and we're changing based on the practical. Actually was pretty successful last time. I really thought it did well, but we just need to make a few adjustments to it. So that I'd like to add 2 things to the agenda today.
And somebody
Okay.
have to move and second to add them as item E
Okay.
and F.
Okay. What are they?
Probably do the job description first, and then the practical tests would be, that would be item E, and then item F would be the update to or revision to the practical test.
But give it to me again, Joanne.
Okay, item E, somebody needs to move to make the revision to the maintenance worker 1 job description, item E. And then someone needs to make and second to make item F the revisions to the practical skills and knowledge test.
Ed was talking about-
I move that we make the change to item D to allow for Andy's suggested changes.
And I
That would be
second
Well,
that.
no, we're not there yet. You
That
have
would
to
be
move
E.
to add it to the agenda, and then that we would come to that later.
All right, I'll move that we add it to the agenda.
And I second that.
Hey,
I
excuse
second that.
me, excuse me. We are going to, can we, Joanne, add both of them to the agenda? Can we have one motion to add them both?
Yeah, I'll fix it up when I do it, but yeah, we can have one for both.
Okay. So
Then
Ed,
I
you're
make a
moving.
motion my motion is to allow changes to both items. to
Okay.
accommodate
Yeah.
Well,
And
no,
now-
it's to add them to the agenda.
Agenda, Ed.
Add them to the agenda.
Yes.
Okay. And
That's what
I
Savon.
second that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All in favor, the motion carried.
Aye.
No. Okay, thank you. Motion carried. Savon, I didn't hear you, but I thought I heard you.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, so they're added to the agenda. So we'll go back and continue the agenda, and when we get there, we can deal with it, okay?
Yep.
All right, so let's just go back to, where are we at, B?
No, we're on A.
A, oh, maintenance worker, okay.
No, that's the police sergeant
written
written test.
test. Okay, that's where we are.
Okay, so the police sergeant test, this is just a promotional exam. We do this every so often. It's been a few years. I think the last one was back in 16 or 17, I believe. I don't know.
It was 15.
15. There you go. So it's getting harder to find these tests. So I'll let Bill explain a little bit, but we went out to a retired, is he a sergeant, or I'm not sure. I'll let you explain, Bill.
Police chief. He's a retired chief.
Okay.
Yeah, so in the past, our promotional exams were done by a psychologist, a police psychologist, Dr. Dahm. He's no longer doing that, but what he would do is he would take our policies, our procedures, our collective bargaining agreements, and usually some sort of a book on leadership, and he would develop a test from those materials for the promotional exam. What we found was, and since Dr. Dahlm's no longer doing that, there is a retired police chief by the name of Steve Sarver, who you should have gotten his resume, but he created a consulting group to do police promotional examinations, and his testing procedure is basically exactly the same thing that Dr. Dahm did. He used our collective bargaining agreements. He used the Ohio Revised Code. He used our policies and procedures, which we now call general orders, and our emergency operation plan for the city. And he has developed a 100 question examination based upon all those materials. And you should have gotten a copy of that test as well. I took the test, and I'm happy to say I passed. I did miss one, but in my defense, I read the question wrong, but it's still a miss. So I'm very confident in the test. I think that it is a good reflection of what a road patrol sergeant should need to know and should know already without too much studying. But I'll be happy to answer any questions if anybody has any.
No.
Chief Arm? I'm sorry, I was muted. Chief,
Yes, sir.
is, this will be the first time this test is being used
Mm-hmm.
by,
Yes, this test is this is newly developed. He just wrote this test over the past 2 months. So no one has ever seen this test before.
has anyone on the force besides yourself taken that test?
Nope, just me.
This year? And you only missed one?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, all right, that's all the questions I have.
Is this a permanent test that you're gonna want to use forever?
No, ma'am. We would, this would probably be a one and done. If we were to give another promotional exam, then we would probably ask the Ohio Chief Consulting Company to do another one. And the reason that we wouldn't be able to use this one again is that collective bargaining agreements do change. Our general orders change. So potentially some of these questions, may be different in the future.
Gotcha.
And also, this list will be good for up to 3 years, right? Right?
Yes.
Okay.
You're muted, Joe.
Can those,
Now I got
as
it.
we've done in the past, can those also be extended for 2 more years on a 1-year basis?
They have asked for an extension before and gotten it only because, there was an instance, it was a long time ago with a retired police sergeant, Pat Carr, and he had asked for an extension because they wanted to hire him, but because of the budget, I think they had to wait till like the next year or something.
Got it.
So they can be extended, but
That's what I kind of
but
thought.
whether they would do it or not, you'd have to wait until that came up.
I think we expect about 10 people to apply, so we should have a decent list and when it's all said and done.
Okay. All righty. So you want a motion for this written test?
Yes, we need a motion and a second to approve the test.
A motion to approve the test.
All right.
I'll
It's
second. Ed Stefan for second.
been properly moved and second that we approve the test. All in favor?
Aye.
Nay. Motion carried.
All right, Bill, you're free to go.
Okay, thank you, everybody, and I hope you have a great rest of your evening.
Okay,
Say
thank
it,
you.
Bill. Thanks.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. The next. Now, are we going to deal with maintenance worker?
Going to
No,
B.
the next item is the abolishment of those 2 office associate tests that they actually expire, one in May, one in June.
Gotcha.
And Andy will explain that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're just abolishing, so they're getting ready to expire anyway. But they're very old and we've pretty much extinguished. So we just hired Kara Viteri off of that. And then it's pretty much exhausted. There's not very many people even interested in the job still on those lists. So we just need those abolished.
Oh, okay. I'll take a motion. And a second.
I'll move to abolish those eligibility lists.
Thank
I
you.
second that motion.
Okay, thank you both. It's moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion carried. Okay, let's look at C. Interim posting, office associate 2 position.
Yeah, so we had our receptionist, Lauren Campbell, resign. She'd been here about 2 years.
Oh,
So she has gone and I think she's going into nursing or something, but so we have, and I've been told there's some interest with from some other departments that there may be one or two employees may be interested in that position. So I'd like to give them the opportunity first. So that's why we're doing an internal posting first before,
Gotcha.
so that's why that's coming before D. So we'll get to D once we get to C.
Okay. Okay, we coming to C first, right?
Yes,
Interim
yes.
posting. Okay, may we have a motion for C so they can post this associate position?
A motion to post it.
Okay, thank you, Savant.
I'll
Ed,
second. I'll second.
thank you. It's been properly moved in second that we post the interim position for associate 2.
Yeah, and let me clarify too, just so you know, that there will be no written test because it'll most likely be a lateral position. So
Oh, thank you. Okay,
And
all
the
in
written
favor?
test would be for new incoming people.
yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nays. Thank you, nays. Motion carried. Number D.
This is written test for a office associate 2 position. So most likely if we fill the C, we're going to need to post D. So that's kind of because I'm assuming there's only going to be one internal candidate for the. Now, if there was more, either way, that we're going to have an open position if somebody internally takes it. And then if they don't, then we still got to post it to go outside. So either way, we're going to need this. So that's why. And we've decided in the system, we have office associate 2s, or they're in tax, they're in the front office, they're in the reception area. We have them all over the city. So let's see. Yeah, so we're just going to do one test, and then in May, I may bring, like if it's a tax job, for instance, we may do a test, when we bring them in for the interview, they would take a small tax test or something like that, like an evaluation. It wouldn't disqualify them technically, but it's an evaluation for the interview. But we'll bring that to you in May because we don't have that ready yet.
Okay. All righty.
All
We'll take
right.
And the
Mo-
reason why, like I said before, that you all didn't get answers or the questions, to this is this company that we've used before for both clerical and a maintenance worker many years ago. They don't allow anybody but the people that signed the agreement, which would be me and Andy, to review it. But they give you these categories that are listed on your sheet of items they test them on. And we had a few that they're called entry level clerical because this is the entry level position. And both Andy and I reviewed them, and we feel that this one is a good test for the position. Like he said, if they, depending on the position, if a position comes up that they need to know certain skills, like for example, payroll, we've done a payroll assessment at the interview. If it was a tax, we do a tax assessment, which the finance director would design at that time, then we would bring that back for you. But we would use this for any office associate position we had. And then it would be up to the department to make sure if they needed another assessment at the interview, then they would have to create that.
Okay. I understand.
And it would probably be a virtual test unless COVID changes, because this company does do virtual testing. You have to pay more for it, but it's worth it because a lot of people won't come if they have to, be with a big group of people. And I understand that.
That's interesting. Okay. Sounds good to me. All right, we ready to set the motion for D?
You need a motion to accept? item
Yes, we do.
Also move.
I second that.
All right, thanks. It's been properly moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay, motion carried. All right, number E.
Okay,
And that was the maintenance worker job description.
I'm gonna share my screen so you guys can see it. So this is the current job description. And the only thing that is changing is the highlighted, which is here at the bottom. And it says must be able to obtain a commercial driver's license class B within 6 months of employment. So that is the absolutely only thing we're changing on this job description.
Do you want a motion to approve the change?
Yes.
So move.
I second that.
It's been properly moved in second that we approve the changes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nays, motion carried. All right, number F.
Okay, this is, hold on, I'm trying to find, here we go. Sure. All right, so this is the practical test for the maintenance worker. We've updated a few things on here. It's still out of 100 points, but the first two events here, it says proper trailer operation and then the snowplow. We've increased these to 20 points, and then we decreased a couple other ones from 10 to 5 points. So it's still equal to 100. But what we did here, so we didn't have a time limit on the first one, and we ran into a few issues where some people really struggled with this one. A couple people did, and it just went on and on and on. And so we said, okay, if it's but the people that did it successfully could do it in under 5 minutes. So we said if it's over 10 minutes, or if you receive less than 10 points, it's automatic failure of this event. I say of this section. So you would get 0 points if any of that happens. So I added the 10-minute limit. But if you pass everything, you can get 20 points. Or if you hit a cone, you may get 19 or something like that. The snowplow obstacle course, same, all I did was add here is if it's over 10 minutes or less than 10 points, results in automatic failure of this one. So, and then you have to have a total of 70 to pass this entire test. So then like these used to be 10 points. I changed these to 5. They're pretty basic, and almost nobody had any issues with this. So with these. So at the end of the day, it's 10 points, and those were really the only changes I made to this. Everything else is the same as it was.
Okay.
What is the proper trailer operation? The trailer is comprised of what type of a trailer?
So it's just a pickup truck with like a, just a simple, like what you'd haul a lawnmower on or something. I don't know what you call it.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are they coming, I'm sorry, go ahead. So are they coming in and physically performing all of these tests back to back in that moment and have to get them done under that time?
Yeah. So what we did last time, we brought them in about 15 minutes apart. So first person would start, and then by the time the next person started, that person's probably like on the third event already. So it
Okay.
just kind of keeps the pace going. So there
Okay.
wasn't a whole lot of waiting around. So yeah, you just kind of, so we just brought all the candidates in that qualified for, well, I mean, pretty much everybody qualifies that takes that applies, and we put them through this course.
Can you scroll down some? 'Cause I think I seen one that said loading 5 50-pound bags in
Yes.
under 2 minutes.
Yeah, that was fairly simple. We didn't have anybody had any issues with that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's literally what we did. We backed we simulated a pickup truck, but it really was, we took like a scooper and we raised it to the height of a pickup truck, and then they just had
Gotcha.
to pick it off the ground and put it in there. That way we could easily dump it and prepare for the next one.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Then may I have a motion?
When is this test going to be given?
Well, we got to post the job again, so it'll be a couple months.
Okay,
A motion to approve it.
I'll
Okay.
second. I'll
Been
second.
prop- Thank you, guys. Been properly moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
We were
Okay.
motioning to approve the corrections and to post, right? We was doing both.
Right,
Yes.
Okay.
thank you for asking. Anything, I see nothing else on here but adjournment, and we don't have to have a motion for that. Joanne, what do you want us to do with these tests?
Well, if you could, well, if you have your own shredder, it's like last time, if you have your own shredder, you could shred them. If you don't, if you want to put them in an envelope, and you could do one of two things. Like Andy said, we're going to be opening back probably after Memorial Day sometime, and I could contact you and you could bring them in then. Or if you wanted to drop them in a sealed envelope, either at the police department or at the tax drop-off box with my name on it, then I could do that. It's whatever you prefer.
Oh, well, we can shred them.
Yeah, if you can try them, that's fine.
Yeah, if you
Okay.
could do that, that would be a big help.
All right.
All right.
Anything else before we adjourn?
No, thanks for everybody jumping on. We may meet, we're gonna have to meet again in May, but maybe, I don't know if you guys want to do it in person, we can, or if you want to keep it on here, it's up to you guys.
If we're able to, I would prefer to be back in person again.
Okay, we have council chambers is set up. We got tables that we can separate well over 6 feet apart. So that's kind of what we've been doing.
Okay,
Well,
Okay.
we'll just see when we're gonna meet again, and then we'll
Okay.
decide.
Okay, sounds
All
good.
right. All right, thank you, guys.
Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
Joan,